Chosen one. Pause right here. Heaven itself has stopped for a moment because this message carries the fragrance of eternity. It is not a coincidence that you are reading these words. This is divine timing. You have felt like you've been living in a season of waiting, watching others receive blessings while your own life seemed suspended. Yet heaven whispers today, your waiting was never wasted. Your season of lack is ending, and God is releasing a wealthy, spirit-led soulmate to cover, provide, and walk with you into purpose. You are not being rewarded with a person, you are being trusted with a covenant. Every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every heartbreak, God was shaping you into someone who could carry sacred love with wisdom. The reason it took so long is because this blessing required a pure heart. God would not allow this gift to arrive before your spirit was ready to receive without idolizing it. You were being refined for divine partnership, not temporary affection. Chosen one. Heaven has already prepared your partner. They have been through their own wilderness, a season of silence, success that felt hollow, prayers for someone genuine. God has been aligning your journeys like two rivers destined to merge. What you call delay was actually synchronization. This is why certain relationships could never last. They were not wrong. They were simply not divine. The right one couldn't find you until you were hidden in obedience. And now, heaven announces a shift. You will begin to sense movement, doors opening with ease, peace returning to your heart, dreams that feel prophetic, divine signs will appear, repeated numbers, familiar symbols, and sudden confirmations in prayer or scripture. The Holy Spirit is preparing your spirit for recognition. You are not chasing love. Love is being drawn toward your anointing. This person, your wealthy soulmate, is not being sent just to romance you. They are an instrument of divine covering. Their abundance is kingdom resource, not vanity. Through them, God will demonstrate His provision and faithfulness. You will see what it means when love becomes a vessel of heaven's generosity, and you will learn that God's blessings never come to weaken or distract. They come to establish and empower, as was declared through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 37, verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give your heart's desires. This, chosen one, is not a promise of fleeting pleasure. It is a covenant of fulfillment. You delighted yourself in the Lord through tears, through silence, through perseverance, and now the desires you thought were denied are being delivered. Your heart's longing is aligning with heaven's design. You will recognize this person by peace, not intensity, not confusion, peace. When they appear, your soul will rest, not race. The presence of the true one from God never brings fear or striving. The Spirit will bear witness. Your prayer life will deepen. You will sense that your calling is being reinforced, not replaced. This connection will elevate both of you. As iron sharpens iron. Do not rush the process. Divine timing demands patience. The Lord is still orchestrating final alignments, career paths, relocations, introductions, and divine meetings that appear accidental but are heavenly appointments. The same God who guided Ruth to Boaz is guiding this encounter for you. You are walking into the unfolding of a prophecy spoken long ago over your lineage. Chosen one. The favor upon your life is magnetic. That's why the wrong people were drawn to you. They sensed your light, but lack the purity to handle it. Yet the one God sends will not be intimidated by your calling. They will protect it. Their strength will not overshadow you, but shelter you. Their wealth will not control you, but empower you. Together, you will represent covenant prosperity, a testimony that love and provision can coexist under divine order. So now, lift your head, breathe deeply. The storm is over. The drought is ending. Heaven is aligning your heart and theirs for the encounter that shifts everything. You are not waiting on a person, you are waiting on a divine unveiling. And soon, what was hidden will be revealed. If this message resonates in your spirit, take it as your confirmation. Heaven has spoken. The wealthy soulmate sent by God is already being guided toward your life. Step by step, by unseen hands. You do not need to chase. You need only to stay positioned in faith and obedience. Declare your agreement by an act of faith. Like and share this message to let heaven know you receive it. Comment the number 777 below as a prophetic sign that you are in alignment with this word. And if you haven't yet, subscribe now so you don't miss the next revelation prepared for you. Heaven is watching your response. The refining fire, chosen one, has not been a punishment. It has been your preparation. Every closed door, every delayed answer, every season of stillness has been part of a divine cleansing. You asked heaven for love, for stability, for partnership that mirrors God's heart, but before heaven could release that, your soul had to be healed. You have been walking through sacred fire. You may not have realized it, but every hardship was burning away, fear and insecurity. Heaven was not trying to break you, it was removing what could not follow you into the next season. Pain has been the chisel, shaping you into someone who can hold what is holy without letting it slip away. There were moments you cried, "Lord, why does it take so long?" And heaven answered not with words, but with silence that taught you strength. When you could not hear God, He was still working. When you could not see progress, He was still positioning. Every disappointment was redirection. Every rejection was divine shielding. You were being kept for something sacred. The waiting taught you discernment. You now recognize peace as a sign of God's presence and rest as a sign of His approval. The noise of the world no longer controls you, and that peace is your power. Heaven's refinement has made you sensitive to truth, allergic to manipulation, and anchored in faith. Chosen one, you had to be alone, so you could meet yourself. The version God designed before heartbreak clouded your reflection. He had to strip away the layers of people-pleasing, fear, and doubt until only your true essence remained, chosen, radiant, and whole. That version of you will not beg for love. It will attract covenant. The one who is coming, the wealthy soulmate sent by heaven, needs a partner who knows peace more than chaos. You are that partner now. Your time in the wilderness taught you to build from faith, not from desperation. You will not confuse attention with affection, or money with meaning. You have learned that true abundance flows from alignment with God, not accumulation. The refining fire was also God's way of upgrading your capacity to receive. You could not handle the blessing before, not because you were unworthy, but because you were unready. Now your heart is expanded, your faith is matured, and your soul is stable enough to hold more without breaking. Heaven prepares you for what it plans to trust you with, and this, chosen one, is your season of readiness. In your stillness, you have become stronger than ever. The prayers you whispered in weakness are now the roots of your strength. God used pain to teach you patience, silence to teach you strategy, and solitude to teach you sensitivity to His voice. You no longer chase what glitters, you wait for what glows. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 5, verse 4, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. That is exactly what heaven has been building inside you, character strong enough to sustain blessing, and hope resilient enough to outlast delay. This is the soil in which divine love will soon take root. You have passed the test, even when you didn't realize it. You did not allow bitterness to harden your heart. You did not give up on faith when everything seemed silent. You continued to believe, even when nothing changed. That endurance has become your fragrance in the Spirit. It announces to heaven that you are ready. Soon, you will look back and see how every trial served a purpose. You will realize that the nights of tears became the foundation of wisdom. What once felt like breaking was actually building. The version of you emerging from this process is unrecognizable to the one who entered it. You are refined, radiant, and royal. And now, heaven whispers, it is time. The spiritual alignment is complete. You are prepared for the one who will not only love you, but also partner with your purpose. Everything you have endured was heaven's rehearsal for this union. Stand still, breathe deep, and rest in the knowing that nothing was wasted. The fire that once burned you now shines from within you. You are ready, chosen one, and the promise is already on its way. You were never meant to struggle alone. Chosen one. The battles that marked your journey were never signs of abandonment. They were the sacred classroom of heaven. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every season where you carried more than your share, was all shaping you into a vessel of divine endurance. The weight you've carried was heavy because your destiny is weighty. From the very beginning, God knew that isolation would become your initiation. Others had comfort, you had calling. Others sought applause, you sought purpose. And though it looked unfair, heaven saw what you could, not that your pain would one day become prophecy. What broke you also built you. Every heartbreak carved capacity into your soul, so that when love finally comes, you'll recognize it not by excitement, but by peace. Chosen one. This is why the loneliness lasted longer than you expected. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be completed by another human. You were meant to be complemented by one sent by God. That difference is divine. Ordinary relationships collapse under pressure, but kingdom connections are forged in the fire. There were seasons you cried, Lord, why me? Yet heaven answered softly, because you can carry it. You were given a unique anointing, the ability to walk through storms and still glow with grace. When others would have turned bitter, you remained tender. That is the mark of the chosen. The very evidence of your divine selection is that you survived what destroyed others. Do not despise the years of lack or rejection. They were training your spirit to trust when nothing made sense. If you had been surrounded by constant comfort, you would have forgotten how to depend on God. The struggle refined your hearing. Now you can discern His whisper even in the noise. You learn to find peace not in possessions but in presence. The time is coming when everything you've carried will make sense. Heaven is sending someone who will see your strength not as competition but as confirmation. They will not try to fix you. They will celebrate the masterpiece God already shaped. This person will come equipped not only with wealth in their hands, but wisdom in their spirit. You will both know this is not mere romance. It is divine restoration. Chosen one. When God brings the right one, you will finally understand why the wrong ones never stayed. They were not evil, they were early. They could not love the version of you that was still being built. But now, your foundation is firm. Your identity is anchored. You are no longer searching for completion because you found it in the one who created you. The person coming into your life will not complete you. They will confirm you. You will feel seen, not studied, understood, not analyzed, covered, not caged. Their abundance will not intimidate you because your spirit has already learned that provision is not about pride, it's about purpose. Together, you will multiply what God has placed in your hands. It was proclaimed in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Zesh, that is the mystery of your story. Every weakness you endured became the birthplace of strength. What once looked like emptiness was the soil for divine overflow. God never meant for you to be dependent on human provision. He wanted to fill you with divine resilience first. Only then could you stand beside someone powerful without losing your identity. Now, your spirit is ready for partnership that matches your assignment. You are not waiting for rescue. You are being paired for impact. The one coming will not just bring love, they will bring alignment. Together, you will build, influence, and bless others. What felt like survival will turn into testimony. You will look back and whisper, "It was worth it." Chosen one. If this message resonates deep in your soul, take a moment of faith and write these words in the comments. I receive peace. Type it not as a reaction, but as a declaration. You are speaking alignment into motion. When you declare peace, you invite heaven to settle what once shook you. You are testifying to every storm that it no longer controls your story. This is the turning point. The trials have trained you. The fire has refined you. And now heaven is preparing to reward you. The one who will walk beside you is already on the way. You will never again have to fight alone, for heaven has already assigned help, love, and provision to your name. Stand firm. Chosen one. You were never forsaken. You were being formed for such a moment as this. The wealthy one's arrival, chosen one, is not an accident. It is an assignment. Heaven does nothing by coincidence. Every blessing sent to earth carries a divine purpose. And this person's wealth is not merely material, it is prophetic. The Lord is orchestrating a union where abundance and anointing will meet. This is not about luxury, it is about legacy. The one being sent to you has been positioned by heaven for years, trained in both spiritual depth and practical wisdom. They carry the resources that match your vision, and their calling complements your own. They are not coming to rescue you, they are coming to reinforce you. Heaven designed them to cover you, to strengthen the dream God placed in your spirit long before they arrived. For so long, you have been building by faith, often with little in your hands, but much in your heart. You have made things work in seasons of lack, and still, you praised God. You have sown seeds that seemed invisible, believing that one day the harvest would come. That day is near. The Lord is sending someone who will not only admire your faith, but will invest in it. They will recognize the light in you and understand that supporting your vision is their divine duty. The one coming has carried a private burden. 2. They have wealth, but their spirit has been restless. They have achieved much, yet something in them feels incomplete. They have prayed, "Lord, show me where to pour out what you've given me." That prayer is the reason heaven is now leading them toward you. Their abundance was never meant to sit idle. It was meant to flow into divine purpose. And you are part of that purpose. You must understand, chosen one, that this is not about dependence, it is about divine balance. Your strength and their provision will merge into a partnership ordained to accomplish what neither of you could have done alone. God's design is perfect. One carries vision, the other carries provision, and together you carry impact. The Lord's pattern is consistent throughout history. When He sends a mission, He always sends a supporter. When He births a promise, He always releases provision. Abraham had Sarah, Boaz had Ruth, Esther had favor with the king. In each union, purpose outweighed preference. That is how you will know. It is divine. The connection will make your spirit expand, not your ego. The coming relationship will be marked by peace, order, and divine acceleration. You will notice that doors begin to open without struggle, that ideas long buried suddenly come alive, that what was once delayed begins to move quickly. This person is not your replacement for faith. They are the response to it. Heaven uses people as instruments of provision, and the one coming to you has been prepared for this very assignment. Do not be afraid of their wealth. Do not feel unworthy of the abundance they bring. You have already proven your faithfulness in scarcity. Now heaven is testing your humility in overflow. Can you receive without shrinking? Can you stand in blessing without losing the gratitude that kept you grounded? God is not promoting you to pride. He is positioning you for purpose. The person sent to you will not flaunt what they have. They will flow in it gracefully. Their generosity will not come from obligation, but from revelation. They will know that you are a divine investment. The peace you carry will settle their restless heart. And together, you will become a demonstration of kingdom partnership. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 18. Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the power to get wealth, that He may establish His covenant. No, this is the foundation of the connection you are about to step into. God gives wealth, not for show, but for covenant. The resources being released into your life through this relationship are meant to fund assignments, build influence, and bring light to dark places. You will not chase after possessions, they will chase after purpose in you. Chosen one, prepare your spirit. The union ahead will require discernment, wisdom, and balance. You will need to remember that both of you are stewards, not owners. The wealth they carry belongs to God, and the vision you hold was born from God. When those two elements merge, the kingdom expands. This relationship will challenge you to grow, not in fear, but in faith. You will learn to receive with grace, to lead with humility, and to partner with confidence. Every lesson from your wilderness season will now serve as guidance for your promised land. You are stepping into a divine exchange, your faith for their favor, your endurance for their empowerment. When the connection manifests, you will feel heaven's approval in the form of peace that surpasses understanding. It will not feel rushed or uncertain. It will feel inevitable, as if your souls have been walking toward each other all along. That is how divine assignments reveal themselves. They come wrapped in clarity, not confusion. Chosen one. This is the hidden plan unfolding. You are not just being loved, you are being commissioned. You are about to witness what happens when heaven funds its own prophecy through two willing vessels. Prepare to stand in the overflow. For what's approaching is not random, it is revelation fulfilled. Chosen one. What you are walking into requires eyes that can see beyond appearances. The blessing being prepared for you carries heaven's signature, and learning to recognize it will save you from counterfeit connections. Divine things do not always arrive in glitter, they arrive in peace. Heaven's gifts do not come to confuse, they come to confirm. In your journey, you have encountered distractions that looked like destiny. People who spoke beautifully, who promised forever, who seemed to understand, but their presence left your spirit uneasy. That unease was heaven's alarm. The world teaches you to chase what dazzles. The Spirit teaches you to discern what's divine. And now, after all your lessons, you are ready to see with spiritual eyes. Recognizing the one sent by God is not about emotion, it's about energy. The true one will not demand your attention, they will respect your silence. They will not compete with your calling, they will celebrate it. Their wealth will not intoxicate you, it will inspire you. And above all, peace will follow them like a fragrance that never fades. Discernment. Chosen one is your safeguard. It is like the light of dawn that reveals what darkness tried to hide. You will feel it, not in your mind, but in your spirit. When the true one enters your life, your inner storm will still. You will no longer question your worth, because their love will mirror God's heart for you. They will not see you as a project to fix, but as a promise to protect. The counterfeits, however, come dressed in urgency and confusion. They rush what heaven would never hurry. They speak of love, but move in manipulation. You have already met enough of them to know that not every opportunity is divine. But take comfort, those encounters trained you for discernment. You now carry spiritual radar, sensitive enough to distinguish true light from false fire. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 16, you will know them by their fruits. That is how you will discern the fruit of peace, patience, kindness, humility. Those are the markers of the true one. The counterfeit may sound perfect, but their fruit reveals their root. You no longer need to question endlessly, you need only to observe quietly. The one God sends will speak less and show more. Their consistency will calm your doubts, and their humility will humble your pride. They will not pull you away from your purpose, but push you deeper into it. This is the divine signature, the mark of heaven's craftsmanship on human connection. Think of it this way: if love were a garden, the counterfeit grows weeds quickly, but dies with the first heat. The divine connection grows slow, steady, and deep. Its roots nourished by purpose, not passion alone. It takes time, but it lasts through storms. You, chosen one, have learned to wait long enough to recognize real growth. And as you receive this revelation, remember, your journey is also a garden. Words of truth are seeds. When you water them with faith, they bloom into transformation. If this message waters your soul today, let your response be an act of gratitude. like the widow who offered her oil, or the farmer who sowed seed, trusting the unseen rain. Your support, your share, your like. Your subscription becomes a seed that helps this garden of light reach others still walking in darkness. When you share this word, you become a torchbearer. Someone out there may be one breath away from giving up, waiting for a sign, longing for confirmation, and your simple act of kindness could deliver it to those who feel led to give. Understand that your offering is not about transaction, it is about transformation. Every gift, whether a seed of words or a seed of support, fuels the light that keeps messages like this flowing into weary hearts across the world. Chosen one. Heaven measures intention more than amount. When you give as one sowing into purpose. When you like or share, do it not for numbers, but for souls. You may never meet the person your action blesses, but heaven will record it. You are part of something greater than yourself, a movement of divine encouragement sweeping across lives that need hope. And as you listen now, imagine your faith as light, expanding outward, touching families, friends, even strangers in need of peace. That is the power of collective obedience. Heaven multiplies small acts done with great love. You are not here by chance. You are one of the few who hear and respond. So, if this message speaks to your spirit, water the seed. Support this mission, however. You are led through prayer, through sharing, through generosity. Every ripple of faith you release returns to you multiplied. Chosen one. The seasons of heaven are shifting in your favor. There are invisible clocks in the spirit realm, divine timelines that cannot be hurried or delayed, and yours has just struck the hour of alignment. Everything you have walked through, every disappointment, every quiet victory, was part of this orchestration. Heaven is now synchronizing people, places, and opportunities to prepare the stage for your divine meeting. You may have already begun to feel it, a stirring inside your spirit, a sudden quickening that you cannot explain. It's as if the air around you feels different, filled with quiet anticipation. Things that were stuck begin to move. Conversations appear out of nowhere. Doors that once resisted you suddenly open with ease. That is the sound of divine timing unfolding. Chosen one. Do not mistake this for coincidence. There are no coincidences in the kingdom. Heaven operates through patterns, signals, and confirmations. When the spiritual atmosphere begins to align, the physical world follows. What once felt delayed was simply being positioned. The threads are being woven now. Even as you read this, in these next days, pay attention to the patterns. You may see repeated symbols, familiar phrases, or even unexpected reminders of promises you once laid down. You will sense divine nudges, guiding your steps, an inner knowing that says, turn here, pause there, speak now, follow those whispers. They are heaven's navigation system, leading you to your promised connection. The one God has prepared for you is also sensing the pull. They may not know why, but something inside them is stirring a sudden awareness that a new chapter is about to begin. The same spirit that works in you is calling them, aligning their movements to intersect with yours at the exact appointed time. It is written in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. All, you are living in that season right now, the convergence of promise and preparation. The time for wandering is closing. The time for recognition is near. Heaven's clock is precise. And when it strikes, what took years of waiting will happen in moments. During this phase of alignment, it is crucial to remain centered in peace. The enemy often attempts to distract right before manifestation. You may experience sudden emotional waves or unnecessary drama trying to lure you off course. Do not bite the bait. The test of readiness is stillness. If you can remain calm when everything around you shifts, you prove that your heart is anchored in faith. Chosen one. Your life is becoming a divine intersection. Heaven is orchestrating a collision of destiny, your purpose and their provision, your faith and their resources, your calling and their courage. It is not only about romance, it is about kingdom partnership. The union God is preparing is strategic, two souls forged in separate fires, now drawn together to ignite a greater flame. And as the alignment intensifies, so will the signs. Numbers will speak, dreams will clarify, and your spirit will feel more sensitive than ever before. Do not dismiss these things as mere imagination. Prophetic alignment often shows up as repetition. Heaven repeats what it wants you to remember. You will know the moment the atmosphere shifts from waiting to walking. Peace will settle in your heart like dew in the morning. The anxiety that once kept you awake will dissolve into quiet assurance. Even your body will sense it. Breathing will feel easier. The heaviness will lift. This is how divine timing announces itself, through the absence of striving. Chosen one. Your journey until now has been about preparation, but the chapter ahead is about recognition. God is about to make visible what was once invisible. You will not need to chase, you will simply align. When the manifestation appears, remember that everything happening is a continuation of God's faithfulness. He is not giving you something random. He is fulfilling what He promised long before you knew how to ask. This season will feel like restoration wrapped in revelation. If your heart bears witness with this word, if something within you says, "This is for me," then mark this moment as your agreement with heaven. Type the prophetic number 880, 8 inches, the comments. Let it be your declaration of alignment and new beginnings. The number 888 symbolizes resurrection and divine renewal, the moment when what was asleep awakens. By writing it, you're not performing superstition, you're participating in prophecy. You're declaring that you are ready for the new chapter heaven has scheduled. It is your spiritual yes, echoing through the unseen realm. Chosen one. It is time you understand something extraordinary. You are not being pursued because of what you lack, but because of what you carry. There is a favor upon your life that draws opportunities, hearts, and even wealth toward you. The person God is sending into your life, the one whose hands hold abundance, will recognize that favor immediately. They will not see you as someone to rescue. They will see you as the missing element their destiny requires. You carry the kind of anointing that multiplies what it touches. The oil on your life is not loud or boastful, but it is undeniable. You have walked through seasons of lack and learned how to create beauty from nothing, how to stretch little into much, how to speak life over dry places. That, chosen one, is the proof that your spirit contains the power of multiplication. When the wealthy soulmate arrives, heaven's equation will be fulfilled. Their provision plus your anointing equals divine overflow. The Lord does not pair opposites randomly. He joins strengths for expansion. You bring spiritual insight. They bring structural influence. You carry faith that opens unseen doors. They carry keys to doors in high places. This combination is not only romantic, it is revolutionary. You will notice that when you stand together, ideas will flow like rivers. Dreams that once seemed impossible will begin to feel within reach. Projects you kept in notebooks will find funding, and visions you whispered in prayer will begin to unfold before your eyes. This is the miracle of divine pairing. Your spirit activates their purpose, and their resources amplify your reach. Do not let false humility make you shrink from this blessing. The enemy loves to whisper, "Who are you to deserve this?" But heaven responds, "You were chosen before the foundation of the world. You were not picked because of perfection, but because of preparation. Your heart, forged through struggle, is now strong enough to carry abundance without losing balance. The relationship that is coming will reveal the truth of your identity. For years, you have walked as a light hidden under weight, misunderstood by those who could not see your worth. You have poured into others and received little in return. Yet now, the one God sends will pour into you. You will experience the beauty of mutual exchange, the balance of giving and being given to. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Your value was never measured by money. Heaven's currency is obedience, not gold. You have been wealthy in faith, wealthy in endurance, wealthy in grace. That is why wealth is being drawn to you. It recognizes its higher form in you. Just as metal is attracted to magnet, abundance is attracted to anointed stewardship. The divine principle is simple. When heaven trusts your heart, it releases your harvest. The coming of your soulmate is more than emotional fulfillment. It is financial stewardship. You will be trusted with resources, not for indulgence, but for influence. Together, you will build, bless, and break chains. You will model what it looks like when love and purpose move as one, according to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22. The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Oh, this is the essence of your next chapter: prosperity without pain, favor without fear, love without loss. What God gives does not drain, it replenishes. You will no longer live waiting for the next heartbreak or setback. The blessing coming to you is designed to sustain joy, not test it. And when this union begins, you will see tangible change. Peace will rest in your home like a quiet river. Finances will flow naturally because they are attached to divine order. Opportunities will seek you rather than you chasing them. Your creativity will flourish, and your prayer life will deepen. These are signs of heaven's alignment, but remain vigilant. Chosen one, with increase comes responsibility. The same light that attracts blessing also draws attention. Some may question your rise or whisper doubt. But remember, favor is not always understood by those who have not paid the same price. Let grace guard your responses and wisdom direct your words. Walk gently into this abundance. Hold wealth with open hands, never clenched fists. Use it to heal, to lift, to expand light. The person God joins to you will understand this principle as well. They will see money as a ministry, not a master. Together, you will fund change that echoes beyond your lifetime. This is not fantasy, it is fulfillment. The same God who carried you through scarcity will now trust you with plenty. The same Spirit who sustained you in weakness will now empower you in strength. You have proven faithful over little. Now you will be made ruler over much. There comes a moment, chosen one, when the invisible hand of heaven moves you into divine intersections. You cannot plan them, and you cannot predict them. They happen when the spiritual and the natural meet in perfect rhythm. You will look back one day and realize that every delay, every detour, every disappointment was actually guiding you to the meeting point where your promise and your person finally collide. You will not need to force it. The Spirit of God is the master conductor of encounters. When He arranges a meeting, even the smallest details carry divine fingerprints. You may take a trip that seems spontaneous, attend an event you almost skipped, or meet someone through what feels like a coincidence, but there are no coincidences in divine orchestration. Each step is ordered, each path is purposeful. The one you are destined to meet will appear at the exact moment. Both your hearts are ready. Neither of you will have to perform or pretend. You will simply recognize. Recognition, not pursuit, is the key to divine connection. Your spirit will know before your mind understands. There will be no confusion, no anxiety, only an unexplainable calm, as if heaven itself exhales through your soul and whispers, "This is the one." When divine timing unfolds, the world around you seems to pause. Time slows. Nuazfad. The moment feels suspended between earth and eternity. You may notice a familiar peace washing over you, a sense that you've known this person long before this meeting. That is not imagination, it is memory from the spirit realm, where souls that share purpose recognize each other before words are spoken. Chosen one. This is how heaven works. While you were praying, heaven was positioning. While you were healing, the other person was maturing. The delays were divine choreography, ensuring that both of you would arrive whole, not half-built. God is too precise to let you meet when brokenness could sabotage blessing. Many miss divine encounters because they are too busy searching, comparing, or controlling. But your waiting has trained you to listen instead of chase. You have learned the rhythm of surrender, the sacred art of being still while God moves. That stillness will become your compass at the moment of encounter. Your steps will be guided in ways that make no logical sense. A cancelled plan, a sudden invitation, a change in routine, all divine detours that lead to destiny. The Lord delights in disguising miracles within ordinary moments, so that when the extraordinary happens, only faith can recognize it. Chosen one. Understand that this meeting is not about romance alone. It is the activation of purpose. The connection will carry assignments that ripple across generations. The one you meet will not only awaken your heart, but also your mission. Together, you will form a partnership that changes atmospheres. Your faith will ignite their fire, and their resources will fuel your vision. The Spirit will give you subtle confirmations. The conversations will feel easy, yet weighty, filled with truth that pierces deeply. Their presence will not demand attention. It will invite authenticity. You will not need to hide any part of yourself, because the real you is the version heaven intends to bless. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 14. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. When you reach that meeting point, remember, it is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a greater one. The partnership will stretch your capacity, deepen your dependence on God, and expand your territory of influence. You will begin to see how purpose flows best through connection. This person will understand timing too. They will not rush the process, but will nurture it. They will value presence more than performance, substance more than surface. That is how you'll know you can trust them. Their calm will mirror yours. And together, you'll walk in rhythm, not rivalry. And when you think of how everything aligned the places you almost didn't go, the choices you almost changed, the moments that seemed random, you will bow your head and realize that heaven never improvises. Every thread, every delay, every tear was leading here. Chosen one, prepare your heart for divine collision. Heaven is not sending someone to complete you, but to complement you. What you carry and what they carry are puzzle pieces carved by the same hand of God. When they connect, the picture of your destiny becomes clear. The world will see partnership, but heaven will see prophecy fulfilled. Chosen one. Every promise tested must first pass through patience. The waiting season is not wasted, it is sacred training. When God speaks a word, He also appoints a process, and in that process, He watches to see whether your trust is built on convenience or conviction. The one coming into your life, the wealthy soulmate ordained for you, has not been delayed. They have been developing, so have you. Waiting, though painful, is where faith matures. It's easy to believe when everything is visible, but faith is forged in silence. Heaven often withholds manifestation to strengthen spiritual muscles. While you were waiting, God was building stamina into your soul, teaching you to trust His pace instead of demanding your own. The truth is, divine timing can feel unfair. You have seen others find love quickly, others prosper easily, while your story seemed paused. Yet what they received quickly, they may lose easily. What you receive from God will endure. Heaven is not slow, heaven is strategic. You were being prepared for a partnership that will not collapse under pressure. It was proclaimed through the writings of the prophet Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. The vision is, for appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it, it will come, not delay. This is heaven's guarantee. What God promised is still alive. It has not expired. It has been maturing. Just as fruit ripens in silence, so do divine promises. What looks like stillness is actually sacred movement. You are standing on the threshold of fulfillment, though your natural eyes cannot yet see it. The testing of trust is never easy. You may feel the pull to act prematurely, to text someone you know is not aligned, to accept less just to fill the silence, to compromise simply to escape the ache of waiting. But heaven whispers, "Do not move before my signal." You have come too far to settle for imitation love when covenant love is being prepared for you. Waiting teaches wisdom. It shows you the difference between what is good and what is God. When the real arrives, you will know it because it will carry peace, not pressure, not confusion, not emotional chaos. Peace is the proof of divine timing. It does not shout, it settles. Chosen one. Your current stillness is not evidence of neglect, but of orchestration. Heaven is arranging every detail so that when the meeting happens, nothing will be missing. Even delays you resent are working for your good. You may think, it should have happened by now. But heaven answers, not until everything aligns perfectly. You are being tested, not in your ability to believe, but in your willingness to wait. Waiting with faith is warfare. Every day you remain steadfast. You embarrass the enemy. He wanted you bitter, but you stayed believing. He wanted you hopeless, but you kept praying. That resilience has become your crown. The one who is coming into your life has also endured their own refining. They, too, have walked through lonely nights, learning to depend on God more than success. Heaven has been shaping both of you separately so that when you meet, you will not complete each other's wounds. You will complement each other's wholeness. This period of waiting is heaven's final polish. You are being fine-tuned for partnership. The Lord is aligning your emotions, clearing away residue from past pain, preparing your spirit to receive love that is consistent and divine. The delay has purpose. It ensures you will not sabotage what you've prayed for. And though the waiting stretches your patience, it also sharpens your discernment. You are learning to read energy before words, to sense motives before masks, to feel peace or warning before decisions. These are skills you will need when your promise appears. Chosen one. Your trust is a seed that heaven cannot ignore. Every time you refuse to give up, the spiritual clock ticks forward. You are nearing the moment where trust becomes sight. And when that moment comes, you will realize that the time you spent waiting was actually the time God spent perfecting. If your heart recognizes this truth, write these words in the comments as your declaration, I will wait. End of. Type it with intention, not as a phrase, but as a prophecy. By declaring it, you're aligning your heart with heaven's rhythm. You're telling God, I trust your timing more than my own. The act of patience becomes your worship. Every letter you type echoes through the unseen realm as a testimony that you believe the promise is worth the process. You are almost there. Chosen one. The waiting is nearly complete. Keep your oil full, your spirit steady, your faith unshaken. The same God who made the promise will finish it. And when it happens, you will not say, finally. You will say, now I understand why it took this long. No. The unveiling, chosen one, is nearer than your imagination dares to believe. The invisible threads of heaven's design are tightening, pulling every promise, every prayer, every unseen preparation into perfect alignment. You have been walking through fog for so long, yet even the fog obeys divine timing. When it lifts, what stands before you will take your breath away, the promise made visible, the person ordained, the fulfillment you once only felt in whispers. When heaven decides to reveal, it does not make noise. It moves like sunrise, gentle, golden, unstoppable. You will not need to chase. What is yours will stand before you, clothed in confirmation. Every fear you once carried will melt beneath the warmth of recognition. The conversation will feel ancient, the connection eternal. It will be as if you've both been orbiting the same star, waiting for the exact moment heaven commands. Now, this unveiling is not about human perfection, it is about spiritual symmetry. The one destined for you carries pieces of your own journey, the same scars, the same lessons, the same quiet victories. Both of you have been shaped by trials, molded by mercy, refined by fire. That is why your meeting will not feel new. It will feel like remembrance, Heaven loves to reunite what was always meant to be together. Chosen one. The world has mistaken your waiting for delay, but in truth, it has been divine choreography. You were being trained in silence, while your partner was being refined in success. You learned how to remain faithful with little. They learned how to remain humble with much. Now, heaven is merging faith and provision, purpose and partnership, strength and softness. The two journeys that began separately are about to intertwine. As this unveiling approaches, humility must be your crown. God is not rewarding you with this union. He is trusting you with it. You are being entrusted with a soul that carries kingdom assignments, with resources meant to build, heal, and bless. Guard your heart from pride and remember, every good thing comes from above. We are reminded through the writings of James, chapter 1, verse 17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, from the Father of lights, unchanging always. This promise is your anchor. The relationship about to unfold is not luck, it is light. It descends directly from a Father who never changes his mind about what he has chosen for you. Chosen one. When this moment manifests, gratitude must become your daily language. Gratitude keeps blessing grounded. It reminds heaven that you remember who the giver is. When you wake beside answered prayer, lift your eyes and whisper, thanks. Gratitude expands the room for greater miracles. If this message stirs your spirit, respond as an act of faith and unity. When you like, share, or subscribe, it is not vanity, it is ministry. These simple acts ripple like stones across still water, carrying light farther than you can imagine. Each time you share, someone somewhere hears heaven for the first time. Each time you comment or engage, you build an altar of remembrance where others can come to find hope. And if your heart feels led to give, do it as worship, not obligation. Your donation is a seed planted in soil that speaks life to weary souls. Like rain returning to the ocean, every seed you sow returns multiplied in peace, in provision, in divine timing. You are not just supporting words, you are fueling a movement of restoration. Think of this message as a lamp. Your generosity adds oil to the flame, ensuring that it continues to burn brightly for those still wandering in darkness. Some will never step into a church, but they will find God in words like these, because you helped keep the flame alive. Chosen one. Heaven counts such offerings as sacred echoes. When you pour into what blesses you, you join hands with divine purpose, whether through giving, praying, or sharing. You become part of heaven's unfolding story. Soon, your unveiling will arrive, the day when what you've long carried in faith will stand before you in form. The person who matches your prayers will appear not as fantasy but fulfillment. The peace of God will wrap around you like a promise kept. You will realize that the season of obscurity was simply preparation for visibility. And when it happens, you will smile through tears and whisper, "This is what it looks like when heaven remembers my name." Chosen one. When heaven finally unveils what it has prepared, you will step into a covenant far greater than emotion. It will be a sacred covering. This connection will not be built on fleeting passion, but on divine protection. It will be a partnership where love becomes a shield, not a weakness, where two hearts walk as one, not out of dependency, But out of divine assignment, you will realize that what God is giving you is not merely companionship, it is spiritual armor. The one entering your life is not coming to fix your wounds. They are coming to guard your healing. They will recognize your calling and honor it. Their presence will not silence your voice, but amplify it. You will not shrink to fit their shadow. For true love under God's design never diminishes, it multiplies. This covenant will be unlike anything you've known before. There will be a supernatural understanding between you, an unspoken rhythm guided by peace. The conversations will feel like prayers, and the silence will feel like sanctuary. Their presence will not drain you, it will recharge you. That is the difference between worldly affection and divine alliance. Chosen one. This connection is sacred because it carries heaven's blueprint. Just as Noah built the ark with exact measurements, heaven is now building your union with divine precision. Nothing will be out of place. Everything from how you meet to how you build will serve a higher purpose. This relationship will not be for display. It will be for destiny. As you walk together, you will feel the Lord weaving your spirits into a single rhythm. Your prayers will carry double the power. Your faith will ignite faster. The spiritual realm recognizes agreement. And when two stand in unity under God's covenant, darkness trembles. You will learn that love, when anointed, is not fragile, it is fierce. This person will carry authority, but they will also carry tenderness. They will protect you, not just physically, but spiritually, praying over you, speaking life into you, shielding your peace when the world grows loud. They will become a reflection of God's care on earth. And you, in turn, will become their reminder of grace. Together, you will experience a dimension of love that feels holy, where every embrace feels like worship. Every conversation like prophecy. You will sense heaven smiling when you speak. Because your voices in agreement create harmony that stretches into eternity. This is what divine covering feels like. Safety wrapped in strength. Purpose surrounded by peace. The world may not understand it. Some will call it luck. Others will call it timing. But you will know it is covenant. This is not a relationship born from loneliness. It is a partnership born from legacy. You were not waiting for love. You were being prepared to steward it. The power of divine covering is that it transforms weakness into warfare. Where you once fought alone, you will now fight together. When one grows weary, the other will stand in intercession. When life tests you, you will find comfort, not in escape, but in prayer. This is the kind of unity that terrifies hell, because when two chosen ones agree, heaven moves. As was written in the book of Ruth, chapter 3, verse 9. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer. That verse captures the essence of what is coming for you. Chosen one. It is the picture of divine covering one soul, extending protection over another, both standing under the same grace. This is not about dominance, it is about devotion. You will find rest, not because you are weak, but because you are finally safe. This covenant will heal generational patterns. Where your ancestors knew survival, you will know stability. Where they fought for acceptance, you will walk in agreement. The union will become a prophetic reversal, breaking curses that whispered through your bloodline. Through this love, God will restore what was lost, redeem what was broken, and rewrite what was forgotten. Do not fear the responsibility that comes with such blessing. The presence of divine love will stretch you, calling you to higher levels of faith and forgiveness. You will need patience, humility, and grace. But every challenge will strengthen the bond rather than weaken it. You will not walk away from difficulties. You will kneel together and find solutions in prayer. Chosen one. The covenant being formed is more than the fulfillment of desire. It is the foundation of destiny. Together, you will become living proof that love under divine authority is the strongest force on earth. This connection will outlast storms, surpass trials, and echo through generations. You are stepping into a covering that does not fade with time because its author is eternal. You are walking into love that does not drain but delivers. You are entering partnership that carries heaven's seal, and when God seals something, no power can break it. Chosen one. The sound of overflow is drawing near. Heaven is preparing to pour out blessings so abundant that you will not have room to contain them. The covenant that began in silence will now echo with increased spiritual, emotional, and material. When two anointed souls unite in divine order, they become conduits through which God releases provision, influence, and grace. This next chapter is not just about love, it is about legacy. Your faithfulness has become the seed of this outpouring. You did not chase wealth, yet wealth is chasing you. You did not manipulate doors, yet doors are opening. Every no you endured was heaven's redirection toward a better yes. Now, those same places where you once struggled will overflow with provision. The wilderness that trained you is becoming the garden that sustains you. Chosen one. When heaven begins to pour, it does so in layers. First comes peace, the internal wealth that anchors the soul. Then comes restoration, the return of what was stolen or delayed. Finally comes increase, the visible manifestation of abundance that aligns with divine purpose. What you are about to walk into will not be chaotic or shallow. It will be stable, consistent, and purposeful. The person heaven has joined to you is the vessel through which much of this overflow will flow. But understand this clearly. They are not your source. They are your partner in stewardship. God remains the provider, and together, you are the channels through which His generosity will reach others. You will see unexpected favor. Businesses will prosper. Projects will grow. And divine ideas will multiply. It is written in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 10, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room enough to store it." And this is not just about money, it is about mindset. Heaven is teaching you how to hold blessings with open hands, not clenched fists. You are not called to hoard, you are called to host abundance. You will notice that the more you give, the more flows back. The rhythm of generosity will sustain your increase. Chosen one. The overflow coming will attract attention. Some will admire, others will question. Yet your peace will remain untouched because you know who the source is. When you operate in divine order, no accusation can unsettle your blessing. This is not luck, this is lineage. You are walking in promises that were spoken before your birth. The purpose of overflow is multiplication. You will become a blessing to many, mentoring, supporting, restoring, and funding divine work. Your testimony will show others that prosperity and purity can coexist, that wealth under God's hand becomes a weapon against lack. Together with your partner, you will build things that last, businesses that bless, movements that heal, and foundations that give. This is why you endured seasons of scarcity. You needed to understand both sides of the story so that when abundance arrived, it would not change your character. You would handle it with grace, not greed. Heaven trained you to steward the extraordinary through the lessons of the ordinary. Do not fear, increase. Chosen one. Some believers shy away from prosperity out of guilt or false humility. But the Lord delights in the prosperity of His children when their hearts remain aligned. You are being positioned to demonstrate what it looks like when holiness and abundance walk together. The union you carry will release waves of generosity across generations. Every seed you sow time. Words. Resources will multiply beyond your imagination. Heaven does not give for comfort alone. It gives for contribution. The more you pour, the more God refills. If this word stirs your spirit, mark your agreement with heaven by commenting the prophetic number 444 below. Type it as a declaration, not décoration. The number 444 symbolizes divine foundation and stability, the moment when heaven establishes what can no longer be shaken. When you write it, you are testifying, Lord, I am ready for the foundation of overflow to be laid in my life. You are saying, I will handle the increase with honor. Chosen one. You are standing beneath open windows. The flood of blessing will not drown you, it will carry you. You will rise above old limits, live above fear, and give beyond logic. The Lord is not only adding to you, He is building through you. Stand firm, stay humble, and remember this truth. The same God who filled your cup will keep it overflowing. The same hands that once reached upward for help will now reach outward to give. This is the power of divine, outpouring the blessing that blesses others. Chosen one. Whenever heaven releases great blessing, the enemy grows restless. The moment you begin to walk in overflow, darkness begins to stir. Not because you have done something wrong, but because you have become proof that light wins. Every increase of glory attracts resistance, but this time, you will not be shaken. What God has joined, no power in hell can separate. After divine union forme. Opposition often arises in subtle forms: misunderstanding, jealousy, distraction, or weariness. But remember, the enemy cannot destroy what is built on covenant. He can only attempt to divide it. His strategy has not changed since the garden: confusion, doubt, and fear. Yet you have something he cannot imitate: divine peace. There will be moments when external noise grows loud, people speaking opinions, situations trying to steal your focus, the temptation to overthink. Do not let noise interrupt your harmony. The presence of opposition is not the absence of favor, it is the evidence of it. You have stepped into a level of grace that demands protection. Not panits. Heaven's covering is still upon you. When attacks come, remember that they are not personal, they are positional. The closer you move toward purpose, the more the enemy attempts to intimidate, but intimidation only works on those who forget their authority. You are not a target of defeat, you are a vessel of dominion. What threatens you is terrified of the power you carry. Chosen one. Learn the rhythm of spiritual warfare. It is not always loud. Sometimes Victory comes in quiet obedience, choosing peace when provoked, choosing love when judged, choosing prayer when misunderstood. The greatest battles are won not by shouting, but by standing. You do not need to fight with anger. Your stillness is your strength. The enemy's weapon is fear, but your shield is faith. Every fiery arrow that flies your way will dissolve against your conviction that God's hand is on this union. You and your partner were not joined merely by affection. You were sealed by assignment. Together, you are a force of restoration. And that is why darkness trembles. When resistance arises, do not look at the storm, look at the pattern. Every challenge is a test of unity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" ask, "What is this strengthening?" The covenant God built is not fragile. It was designed to withstand storms. Even when winds blow, the foundation remains unshaken. You may notice that old distractions resurface, voices from your past, opportunities that appeal to ego, even inner insecurities, whispering lies. Recognize them for what they are, attempts to fracture your focus. Heaven calls you to remain grounded, eyes fixed forward. You are no longer who you were when those old temptations had power. You are now clothed in wisdom, surrounded by prayer, and protected by purpose. The words recorded in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 6, remind us, "Therefore what God has joined together, let no one separate." End quote. That declaration stands as the shield over your covenant. It is both promise and protection. No human opinion. No spiritual attack. No misunderstanding can dismantle what heaven has decreed to endure. Still, guarding this blessing requires awareness. Protect your peace as you would guard a flame in the wind. Not every conversation deserves a response. Not every invitation deserves attendance. Discernment will keep your light burning steadily while others exhaust themselves chasing noise. The enemy does not fear your prosperity. He fears your peace. Chosen one. You must understand, divine unions are not built to avoid storms. They are built to outlast them. The rain will come, but rain cannot drown what was born of the river. When disagreements appear, handle them as gardeners handle weeds, patiently, carefully, without uprooting the entire garden. Love is not fragile. It is fortified by grace. There will also be seasons of silence when communication feels strained. Instead of assuming distance, recognize it as space for divine recalibration. Sometimes God pulls two hearts into solitude for personal refinement so that unity can deepen later. The covenant breathes it, stretches, pauses, and strengthens. Trust the rhythm. Chosen one. Opposition is not a prophecy of failure. It is confirmation of forward movement. If darkness is paying attention, it means you are glowing brighter. The greater the resistance, the greater the revelation that follows. You are not fighting for survival anymore. You are enforcing victory already written. Keep walking in gentleness, but stand in authority. Do not respond to attacks with fear or retaliation. Respond with prayer, with silence, with confidence. Remember, the devil is allergic to peace. The moment you refuse to panic, he loses his power. Your story is protected by the same hand that wrote it. Every arrow sent against you will turn into evidence of favor. Every attack will reveal another layer of God's faithfulness. The world will witness that divine love, when anchored in purpose, cannot be shaken. Chosen one. There comes a time after the battle when you learn how to stand in peace without apology. You have been trained to fight, to endure, to believe against all odds. But now, heaven is teaching you how to be still and enjoy what has been secured. You are standing in the aftermath of storms that once threatened to break you, and instead of ruins, you are surrounded by resilience. This is the beauty of divine recovery. You are entering a season not of striving, but of sustaining. Where once you prayed for survival, now you will pray for stewardship. The covenant you carry, the love, the abundance, the influence requires wisdom, not worry. Heaven is now shifting your focus from reaction to reflection, from proving yourself to living out purpose with grace. The relationship and blessing entrusted to you were never meant to burden. They were meant to balance. Divine abundance is not about excess, it is about enough. Enough peace to rest. Enough clarity to choose wisely. Enough provision to bless others. Heaven is perfecting your rhythm so that your prosperity does not become your prison. In this new rhythm, you will also find that your priorities shift. You will long less for applause and more for authenticity. The spotlight of the world will never feel as satisfying as the quiet approval of heaven. You will prefer deep conversations to shallow praise, alignment to attention, and purpose to popularity. These are signs that you are maturing into the fullness of your calling. Do not be surprised if God begins pruning again, not in pain, but in protection, even in abundance. Heaven continues to refine. The Lord removes what could distract you from destiny's core. You may lose certain connections or opportunities that once felt promising, but every pruning in this stage is preservation. When God guards peace, He guards progress. Chosen one. You are stepping into mastery, the balance of strength and softness, vision and rest. You will learn to build with open hands, allowing heaven to guide expansion instead of human ambition. You will sense when to move, when to pause, and when to simply be. That intuitive rhythm is not coincidence. It is spiritual maturity manifesting through discernment. We find guidance in the words written in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 10. And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, will Himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. This is the promise you are now living, the season of establishment. What was once fragile is now firm. What once wavered is now rooted. You are no longer surviving by faith alone. You are thriving in the fruit of it. With restoration comes responsibility. Heaven expects you to maintain what it has entrusted. Protect the peace in your home like a sacred flame. Speak blessings over your partner and those connected to your life. Choose gentleness even when you have power. Leadership in the kingdom looks like servanthood wrapped in strength. Chosen one. This stage of glory will require grace for yourself. 2. The mind that lived in battle often struggles to relax when the war is over. You might find yourself restless, searching for problems to solve because peace feels unfamiliar. When that happens, breathe. Remind your soul that you are no longer in survival mode, you are in stewardship mode. Let gratitude quiet the instinct to struggle. You will also discover a deeper sense of identity. Now that you are no longer defined by pain, you will begin to ask, who am I when I am not fighting? The answer will surprise you. You are joy. You are creativity. You are wisdom. You are love. Your true self is not the warrior alone, but also the builder, the nurturer, the teacher, the example. You are the living evidence that broken things can shine brighter than new ones. Chosen one, heaven delights in your peace. It is not the loud, temporary calm of the world. It is the deep, steady stillness that comes from knowing you are covered, chosen, and complete. This peace will draw others who are still searching, and without trying, your life will become their sermon. Walk in this grace lightly, laugh more, rest deeper, love freely. For this is what it means to stand firm in glory, not with clenched fists, but with open hands lifted toward heaven, saying, "You have done all things well, chosen one." Your story is no longer just about you. It is becoming a message to the world. The love that heaven birthed in secret is about to shine publicly. The union you now carry is more than fulfillment. It is ministry. You and your divine partner are being positioned as living parables, visible proof that heaven still writes love stories. That purpose still finds its partner, and that divine timing never fails. Every step you take together is a signal to the earth that covenant is possible. The peace you carry as one will draw others who have known only chaos. Your faith will ignite their hope. You will become living letters from God, written not with ink, but with the ink of endurance, grace, and love. Chosen one. You will begin to notice that your testimony attracts attention. People will ask, "How did this happen? How did you know? How did everything align so perfectly?" And your answer will not glorify chance or charm, it will glorify obedience. You will say, "It was God. Every delay was divine. Every heartbreak was necessary. Every prayer was heard." The global call over your union is not accidental. Heaven has chosen you to become a beacon of faith for those who doubt, to embody what it means when two souls walk as one in truth. You will touch nations not by shouting, but by shining. The light within you will travel farther than you ever could physically reach. The kindness in your speech, the integrity in your choices, the peace in your home, these will preach louder than any sermon. As Jesus declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." Chosen one. Your story has power. Every time you share what God has done, you open a door for someone else to believe. Your testimony becomes a seed of faith in another heart. That is why you are encouraged to let your voice be heard. If this word touches your spirit, express your agreement in the comments. Share what you feel, what you see, what you have learned. Every word you write adds a beam of light to the hill. Someone scrolling through the darkness might find hope in the reflection of your words. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not just interacting, you are igniting. Imagine this message as a lantern moving through a valley. Each like adds oil to its flame. Each share lifts it higher. Each subscription ensures it keeps burning. And to those who feel led to give, your support becomes the wind that keeps the fire alive, helping this light reach the corners of the earth where hope has grown dim. Think of generosity as rain on dry soil. Every drop awakens something sleeping beneath the surface. When you sow into a word that nourishes you, you are watering the same hope in someone else. You are saying, "Let this message keep flowing. Let it reach another heart like mine once was. And heaven, seeing your sincerity, multiplies it back to you, not always in money, but in miracles. Chosen one, we are building something eternal here, not an audience, but an altar. Every comment is a prayer stone. Every act of support, a piece of incense rising upward. This is not about numbers, it is about souls. The harvest is not measured in followers, but in faith awakened. And as this movement grows, your name becomes part of its echo. Heaven keeps record of every seed sown in love, whether you give words, time, prayer, or resource. Each offering carries fragrance before the throne of grace. The same anointing that flows through these messages will flow back into your life, touching areas that once felt unreachable. So, as you read these words, pause and breathe. Let gratitude fill your heart. You are part of something sacred, something far greater than a single story. You are part of a wave of restoration sweeping across hearts that thought they were forgotten. Chosen one, your obedience and your engagement keep this divine flame alive. So share what stirred your spirit today. Leave your reflection below. Let your voice join the chorus of faith rising across nations. Together, we are not just telling stories, we are changing atmospheres. The world is watching, and heaven is smiling. Let your light shine not for fame, but for faith. For in shining, you fulfill your calling as one of God's chosen ones. Chosen one, heaven keeps perfect accounts. Every tear that once fell unnoticed has been stored, and now each one is being returned as favor multiplied. You have walked through fire without burning, through flood without drowning, and now you are stepping into the portion of promise that belongs only to the faithful. This season is called reward. When God rewards, He does not simply replace what was lost, He redeems it. Redemption means transformation. It means you will receive something so much greater that the old pain will no longer carry power. The ache that once defined you becomes a doorway to glory. This is heaven's arithmetic, where pain, when surrendered, becomes a seed that grows into peace. Look around you. Chosen one. The small signs of restoration are already visible. Doors that were sealed tight are opening effortlessly. Relationships that once strained are finding harmony again. Your creativity flows easily. Your laughter feels genuine. You have shifted from asking when to whispering thank you. That shift in your heart was the turning key for heaven's vault. The Lord delights in those who endure with faith. You did not curse the process, you praised through it. You did not abandon your post when silence stretched long. Even when no one understood, you remained steadfast. That consistency was not overlooked. Heaven honors endurance because it mirrors the patience of Christ Himself. Now, the Father is responding. You will find yourself at the intersection of harvest and healing, where what you planted in tears will now bloom in abundance. The reward for obedience is not only blessing, but understanding. You will finally see why the waiting was necessary, why the silence was sacred, why the delay was divine. Chosen one, this is your season of clarity. Confusion fades where purpose is revealed. God is lifting the veil from your story so that you can see His fingerprints even in the hardest chapters. You will realize that the closed doors were not rejection, but redirection. The disappointments were not detours, but divine guardrails keeping you on the road to destiny. Heaven's reward does not always appear as luxury, it often appears as peace. Peace that surpasses understanding. Peace that follows you into every room, quieting chaos without a word. You will sense it in your mornings and ease. A calm, a certainty that you are where you're meant to be. That is heaven's way of saying, well done. 1. Your obedience also released generational blessings. The favor you walk in now will spill into your lineage. Those who come after you will eat from trees you planted. You broke cycles that your ancestors could not. You carried burdens that ended with you. And now your children, spiritual or natural, will walk in freedom because of your endurance. The Word of God in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, declares, "Let us not grow weary in doing good. We will reap in due season if we do not quit." That due season has arrived. The reaping may not come all at once, but it will come surely. One blessing will unfold after another, like dawn stretching into daylight. You will be surprised at how smoothly things begin to flow, not by your effort, but by divine orchestration. Chosen one. Reward also carries responsibility. Blessings are not meant to be stored. They are meant to be stewarded. The more you receive, the more you are trusted to release. Heaven rewards those who understand that provision is a pathway, not a possession. You will become a distributor of grace, giving freely what was once given to you in faith. And as you walk through this season, remember humility. Nothing you have is random. Every open door, every restored dream, every healed heart is evidence of God's hand. Keep your eyes lifted toward the giver, not the gift. Gratitude will preserve what pride could destroy. Chosen one. Your time of striving is ending. You no longer have to prove that you are chosen. You simply have to walk as one who is. Your reward is not only external, it is internal. The stillness in your spirit, the joy that no circumstance can touch, the quiet, knowing that you are loved. These are heaven's greatest treasures. What lies ahead will not tire you, it will transform you. Each day will unfold with purpose. Each encounter will feel orchestrated. You will live aware that heaven is not distant, it is active, moving through your life with gentle precision. The air around you will feel lighter because the burden you carried for so long has lifted. Chosen one. You have reached the threshold of fulfillment. You are stepping into the reality that what God promised, He has performed. The seed of faith that once trembled in your hand has become a tree of favor. Rest beneath its shade. Enjoy its fruit. You have earned this rest, not through striving, but through steadfastness. This is heaven's way. Faithfulness rewarded. Humility exalted. Peace multiplied. You are not at the end of your journey. You are walking in its reward. And from this place of restoration, every step forward will echo gratitude. Chosen one. This is the moment heaven dreamed for you, the unveiling of the full circle, the long road of waiting, refining, healing, and alignment has led you here, a life crowned in covenant light. You stand not as someone who merely survived, but as someone who embodies divine promise fulfilled. The journey was not easy, but its ending is radiant. In this season, you will feel an awareness settle deep into your spirit. It is the quiet realization that everything, the storms, the silence, the separation, was a necessary prelude to this harmony. The love you now walk in is not fragile. It has been tempered in fire. It carries the strength of your scars, the wisdom of your wounds, and the peace of your perseverance. This is the love heaven writes when faith holds the pen. Your divine partner will not only stand beside you, they will reflect you. The two of you are mirrors of grace, extensions of heaven's intention. Where you are strong, they will rest. Where they are wise, you will learn. Together, you will create balance that feels like breathing. The world will see unity, but heaven will see prophecy fulfilled. Every step forward, as one will release light into the world. You will become examples of divine order, teaching not through sermons but through stability. The calm you carry will be your ministry. Those around you will sense it, how you speak gently, even when firm, how you love freely, even when unseen, how you walk faithfully, even when unnoticed. This is what it means to reign quietly in glory. Chosen one. The beauty of this final stage is its simplicity. The striving is over. There is no longer a need to prove, to chase, to question. Your heart is at rest, anchored in the knowing that you are loved by God and by the one He sent. This peace is not fleeting, it is generational. It is the kind of peace that becomes inheritance. There will still be days that challenge your patience, moments that stretch your faith. But unlike before, you will no longer fight from emptiness. You will respond from fullness. Your strength will come not from effort, but from overflow. The grace that sustained you through wilderness will now sustain you through abundance. You will move with quiet confidence, knowing that every moment is covered by the same hand that guided you here. In your home, the atmosphere will carry harmony. Laughter will replace lamentation. Conversations will become prayer without pretense. You will wake each morning with the awareness that you are walking in answered prayer. The relationship you once imagined has become the reality. You now live one anchored not in fantasy, but in faith. As was written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4, He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. For the old order of things has passed away. And this is not just the prophecy of eternity, it is the reflection of your present. The old order of struggle, loneliness, and lack has passed. You are standing in the new order of grace. What once caused pain now produces praise. What once felt empty now overflows. Heaven has exchanged ashes for beauty, despair for destiny, and waiting for wonder. You will see how everything was connected, the pain that built empathy, the isolation that created intimacy with God, the delays that taught discernment. Each experience was a note in the melody of your calling. And now, as the song reaches its crescendo, you realize that every dissonant chord was leading here to harmony. Chosen one. Your covenant stands as a testimony. It speaks silently, yet powerfully. That faith is not fantasy. That obedience is never wasted. That love born of God cannot fail. Together with your partner, you will build not only a home, but a legacy. Generations after, you will trace their blessings back to the day you said yes to purpose. You will walk hand in hand into places that once intimidated you. Influence will flow naturally. Favor will follow effortlessly. But through it all, humility will remain your garment. Gratitude, your fragrance. You will give freely, love deeply, and rest often. That is the rhythm of the redeemed. The light that now surrounds you is not just glory, it is governance. You are being positioned to lead by example, to rule through compassion, to extend what you have received. This is the meaning of being crowned in covenant light, not to dominate, but to demonstrate divine love through every action. Chosen one, heaven smiles upon you. You have become what prophecy proclaimed, a vessel of faith, a bearer of peace, a steward of divine partnership. You are the living fulfillment of on earth as it is in heaven. Walk forward with serenity. The journey has come full circle. Yet it is not over, it is eternal. Love will keep evolving. Purpose will keep expanding. And your light will keep shining through generations. The crown upon your head is invisible to the world, but radiant in the spirit. It signifies completion, not of effort, but of becoming. You are no longer waiting for the promise. You are walking as the promise. Chosen one. If these words have stirred something deep within you, if at any point your spirit whispered, yes, then know that this was heaven speaking directly to your heart. You did not find this message. This message found you. Every sentence was guided to remind you that you are seen, chosen, and loved beyond measure. Let this moment be your act of reflection and gratitude. If this journey has strengthened your faith, share it so that someone else wandering in silence can find direction again. A simple like, a thoughtful comment, or a subscription to stay connected is not just digital engagement, it's a gesture of light passed forward. Your voice matters here. When you share your testimony or reaction, you help build a space where faith feels like home. Type what this message means to you, or what part of it found your heart today. Every comment becomes a spark. Every share, a ripple. Every act of support, a seed of hope for someone still waiting for their own divine alignment. Stay connected. Stay glowing. And remember, your story is still unfolding. And heaven is not finished writing through you. End of script.